Welcome back to another edition of the Pagcast. This is just an intro because it's episode 100, baby. Let's go. I want to thank everyone who has shared this podcast with anyone who has listened. You guys are the engine that keeps this rolling. So, yeah, I want to thank all my fans out there. I know there's not many, but, the true supporters are out there. I want to thank all my guests for spending 20 to even an hour of their day to come on a small little podcast and talk about whatever it is. Stephen Ellis and Julian McKenzie in specific, but then, we have hockey players that spend 20, even 30 minutes of their day just coming on and sharing their story. I also want to thank my graphics person, Ellie Zemer. She does a great job with the graphics and she loves making them, so shout out to her. But yeah, episode 100 is with Riley Ginnell, Brandon Wheat Kings forward. I hope you guys enjoy it, and here's to 100 more. Welcome back to another edition of the Pagcast. I'm your host, Michael Pagani, joined alongside Brandon Wheat Kings forward Riley Ginnell. Riley, welcome to the Pagcast. Thank you again for coming on.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
In your most recent game, why don't we start right there? It was up against Swift Current, and you guys did win 2-1. In games when it's a low-scoring affair, how much is focused on defense?
Quite a bit. We have a lot of skill offensively. We also have a good decor as well. So we'll know we'll get our chances every game. It's just a matter of bearing down and then focusing on the D side of the game. And Ethan Kruger, who's a stellar goalie, I have all faith in him as our starter. He always make those big saves to keep you in the game.
Do you find it kind of weird that all of your games against the Broncos this season have been low scoring games? It's kind of like I was going through the box score, and I think 3 goals has been, the most that each team has scored.
Yeah, we had one game, I'm pretty sure at home, we scored. I think we blew them out one day. But other than that, they've been a completely different team this year. They're fast, they play hard, from compared to what they've been in the past. So it's nice to have another team close that'll give you that energy, and it's almost like a little rivalry going on. There's usually a couple fights in every game, so it's fun games, and it's really fun and easy to get out for those games for sure.
And I assume that you're part of those fights that happens?
Here and there, I've been dropping the gloves a little bit this year, so just testing out the waters.
You assisted on the game-winning goal, which was on the power play. How crucial has special teams been to Brandon this season?
Right. We've been trending in the right direction, for sure, with our special teams. I'm pretty sure our PK is top 10 in the league right now. We've been very good with our killing. Obviously, our power play does need some work, but some games it'll keep us in there. Like, we have some very special players on that unit. Both our units have really good players. There's Ridly Greig and Nate Danielson and Nolan Ritchie and Chad Nychuk, who I think is a very underrated D-man in the league. He works the top of our unit. So yeah, he's a very special player. And another Vegas prospect, Kelly works the bottom. So he's been a big threat to us this year, and yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
How has fans being back in arenas brought a sense of normalcy back into your life?
It's been unreal, actually, since the bubble. You kind of got used to it a little bit. We had like a little bit of cardboard cutouts in the corner in Regina, but no, it brings a whole new atmosphere and energy to the game. So it's unreal to have them back.
And it must be, and it creates that atmosphere that, like, if you're trying to create momentum for the team, right? Like, that's a bit of a struggle when there's no fans.
Yeah, 100%. It brings some energy back to the game. If you're struggling to find something or to get going for a game, the fans will always be into it. So and without them, we wouldn't be playing, right? So they keep money coming into the team, and without their support, we wouldn't be able to play at all. So,
getting into your story a bit here, who was your biggest influence to start hockey?
It's got to be my dad for sure. With him working in the NHL for Vegas right now, and growing up as him being a scout with various NHL teams, you're always around the rink, and he's always bringing us along and getting to meet pros all the time. And my brother, who's 2 years older than me, always hanging out around the rink at his practices and games, and you just fell in love with it from an early age. Playing mini sticks with other siblings at when you're younger at their games and go on road trips. So yeah, it's obviously been surrounded by it with my whole family, and I love it.
And I assume that, the hotel people would try and kick you guys out of mini sticks, because that's what happened to me. I had that a few
Yeah,
times.
yeah, all the time. You just getting too rowdy in the halls, or too loud, and a couple noise complaints for sure playing mini sticks in the halls.
Did you have a chance to play against your brother?
Yeah. My first game in the WHL was against my brother Brad. He was playing for Winnipeg at the time, so that was pretty special. And then all throughout the bubble, we played him various times too. So yeah, a couple years there.
What was his biggest advice for you? Because you guys were in the same league, you guys played against one another, so I assume that he would have some really good advice for you to go through your WHL career there.
Right. Yeah, 100%. He's been very supportive of me. Even now, he's playing with the Dinos with the UFC in Calgary there. He still watches a lot of my games. He's always texting me and giving me tips because he's a very skilled player, and he sees the game very well as a good one. So I'm always taking pointers and tips from him and what to do around the net, or little ways to help my game here and there.
Growing up in Calgary, did you become a Flames fan?
For most of my life, my dad, growing up, he worked for Florida, so I always gravitated toward Florida, obviously, because you you have to, and
Yeah.
which was cool. But yeah, I like the Flames still to this day. It's cool to go to Flames games and stuff at Christmas time, or after the season if they're going deep in playoffs. So yeah, I've always had a place for them in my heart for sure.
When you do play the Calgary Hitmen, is it more of, I guess, like a homecoming game? Because you get a lot of you get your parents and a lot of friends for you to come out and watch you.
Yeah, 100%. It's you grow up watching the Hitmen in the Saddle Dome and going to Flames games growing up. So it's always a special game for sure with family coming along and friends. So it's pretty easy to get up for those games and try to play the best you can.
Because it would be hard for your family to come over to Brandon every so often and watch you play.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long trip for sure. It's also pretty cold here, but they do their fair share, especially when my brother was playing for Winnipeg. They'd come down and watch as much as they could. So my mom would know who to cheer for, though. So.
Yeah, I guess that actually would be really hard. I didn't even consider that.
Yeah.
She would need one of those like half jerseys, half of your jersey and half of your brother's jersey.
Yeah, she was talking about sewing something together. I don't know what she had going on, but I'm in Manitoba. And the first game we played each other, they had shirts on with the Wheat Kings logo and the Winnipeg logo, and it said Ginnell ×2 on the back, which was kind of cool. So
it's
always stuff like.
Yeah, exactly. It's very creative. It's the stuff that's really creative, like you mentioned. They're right there. I found that really cool.
Yeah.
You played for you played in the Alberta Cup, which is huge. You played for Team Calgary South. How big of an experience was that for you?
That was really big. That's right before the draft. It's it's a lot of scouts and people are looking at that to see how you perform against the top players in your province. And luckily I had a pretty good I guess little tournament there personally, and our team did pretty well too. So made some good buddies there. So yeah, it's pretty big for me. I think it helped me in the draft out a little bit, that's for sure.
What did you find most challenging about that tournament, and how did that make you a better player?
Just coming in and playing against like top players and playing with them. You got to be you got to be on your playing your best hockey. That's for sure. You're still a young kid. I'm pretty sure we were 14 or 15, so it's just getting that first little experience of, I guess, like the next level after playing bantam for a couple years. So yeah, it's a good little step moving forward. That's for sure.
You played your minor hockey with Edge School Prep. How did they help you get ready for the WHL?
I love Edge. I have nothing bad to say about them. It's a great program. Schooling there is unbelievable. The way they treat you is top notch as well. You work out, skate every day. Right at school there too. Gyms inside the school. There's 2 rinks inside the school. Everyone there is an athlete, like that goes to Edge. So you're surrounded by like-minded people, which is um, a recipe for success, I guess. So yeah, I really liked it there. It was a really fun time as well. There's some really good friends I made and some good memories there. So
Do you ever play against some of the same people that went to Edge?
yeah, funny story actually. Like one of my better buddies growing up, we were on the same Edge team there. He plays for Swift Current. Um, this is at Sam McGinley. We also went to St. Louis camp together as well. So that's pretty cool. Just yeah, just another guy that's played with and you see around. And there's a lot of guys in the league. Keegan Slaney also plays for the Hitmen. He went to Edge the same year I played on the same team. Craig Armstrong as well. There's a couple. Kale Sanders too. There's a couple Western League guys on that team. So
So it seems like a lot of the WHL, kind of goes through Edge before getting drafted.
yeah, that CSS HL league is a pretty big league now. It seems a lot of elite players are going through there to get drafted. So it's a good league. It's very skilled and fast hockey. So it's definitely competing against the provincial leagues. That's for sure.
How big of a moment was it for you to get drafted by Kamloops? Because actually, that's pretty funny. You didn't even play for Kamloops, but you got drafted by them.
No, yeah, um, it was massive. It's not the end all be all if you do or don't. You're still a very young kid, but at that time, I definitely felt um, like surreal. I remember just being at school. I was just on my phone all day, something you shouldn't be doing. So I remember just putting my phone down and going outside and for like lunch, whatever, just playing like basketball with my friends at like lunchtime, recess, whatever it was. Because I was in grade 9, and I just come back in and my phone, just a bunch of people texting me and like congratulations and stuff. And I don't know, I was just thrilled. I think my head hit the roof. I jumped so high. But looking back at it, yeah, it's a very special moment for sure. But no matter what way it went, it's not the end all be all. Like kids, the careers over. There's multiple people that don't get drafted and have a fantastic career. So
You mentioned that you were in school. So once you found out that you did get drafted, did you kind of take the rest of the day off, or how did you celebrate?
um yeah, I guess mentally in school it was pretty hard to focus. So I didn't go home or anything, but I pretty much took the day off. Yeah, it's pretty funny. At the time, my English teacher was a Hitman scout, and I had him for like a couple classes in the afternoon, like back to back. So we were just watching the draft the whole time and talking about the players they were taking. So it's pretty funny actually.
Well, it's also kind of funny that I feel like it would have been weird if you did get drafted by the Hitmen because you had that teacher who was a
Yeah,
scout.
yeah, yeah. It'd be pretty funny.
So how did you end up getting traded to Brandon? Because did you know about the trade? Was it a surprise to you?
Yeah. So I was a little bit surprised because I was their second prospect to sign in that in their draft. Their first rounder signed and then I signed. So I thought like I went there as a 16-year-old and I didn't really expect to make it, but I had a pretty good camp. Personally, I thought I went back and I think I had like 4 points in 5 games or 6 games as a 17-year-old in preseason. and I thought I was playing pretty well. But they called me into the office, and they honestly thought I wasn't ready to play for them that year, and I told them I can 100% play in the Western Division, like no doubt in my mind. So for a trade, and they weren't too keen on it because they wanted to send me down to junior A for a little bit and then bring me back. And I'm 17 years old. I need to be playing. Like in my eyes, I wanted to be playing in the Western Hockey League that year. So I said, yeah, trade me. And I flew home. I'm pretty sure that night or that day, maybe the next day after. And by the time I got off the flight, my dad met me in the airport, gave me a hug, and told me I'd been traded to Brandon. So I didn't even know I was on the airplane. And I think it was 8 hours. Brandon traded us sixth for me. So,
well, it's not bad
which
at all.
Which has been the best move of my.
Yeah, it really has been the best move of your whole career there, because it seems like you and Brandon have just been like the perfect match for one another.
Yeah, 100%. Coming in with a professional coach with lots of experience, having Dave Lowry there. I didn't play a whole lot. I was scratched quite a bit, but at the time I was not happy and quite angry, honestly. But looking back at it, I think he's been a massive influence on the way I play. He showed me just how hard I needed to work to be able to become a better player and what it actually takes. So I have a lot of thanks to give to Dave Lowry, and even my coach now, Don Gilroy. He keeps that same energy and expects the same out of us. We work hard every day in practice and on and off the ice. So it's been really good. I think the best move for me has been traded to Brandon for sure.
Your first year in the WHL was in 2019-20. How long did it take for you to adjust to the play style there?
Quite a bit, actually. I got traded from Kamloops. I was used to the guys there. I only knew, I think, two people on Brandon. I knew Ridley and Bodie Hagen, and I knew Jack Zayat, but not too well at the time. So just a whole new environment for me, and practicing, and the whole style of practice and play was completely different. It was a lot harder and faster, honestly. I was bagged my first practice, and I was like, where am I? Almost like this is just a complete shock to me. And then just kept grinding and working harder, and probably at least my feet under me. So
do you think that Dave Lowry kind of helped you kind of know the play style in the WHL? Did he kind of help you there?
Yeah, 100%. I'm a big guy. I try to avoid being a skill, not not allowed to have any skill, but I'm a big body. I need to use it. I need to hit. I need to work the corner as well. Just trying to beat guys one-on-one, which, coming in a year, I'm not really one of the more skilled guys. So it's a change up for me. But I've always had that aspect in my game, I think, but more, which I think you did for sure.
How did you end up picking number 9? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. Can you hear me now? I was just letting you know out there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. How did you end up picking number 9? Yeah.
I've worn it my whole life. Grew up. I'm born October 9th. It's just, I never really wore it because I was born on a 9th. I've always just loved the number. I don't know why. It's just been my favorite number since I can remember, and it just kind of works out that I'm born on the 9th too. So we had a player get traded that wore 9 in Brandon my first year, and I was just wondering. I said, no one's gonna be wearing 9, so I just texted our equipment manager like, is it possible I can wear 9 next season? And said, yeah, for sure. So it worked out perfect.
Ridly Greig did get drafted in the first round by the Ottawa Senators. What can you say about the qualities he brings to the team?
Yeah, he's one of my better buddies on the team for sure. He's a good guy. He's one of the most skilled players I've ever seen. You know, he's always on in practice, always scoring and always competing. So you almost want to get to that level of play. So it's constantly pushing other guys on the team, which is good to see.
When it is the off season, what does some of your training consist of?
I work out usually 5 days a week with crash conditioning. That's like Monday to Saturday with usually yoga on Wednesday. So 6 days in the gym, 5 days working out, and then usually about three out of those days, I'm skating with Dave Lowry, with like some junior ice and some pro guys that are out there here and there. Uh, um, that's just in Calgary about 3 times a week, about hour 15 a day. So it's good work. I love it. I love the training in the off season. Just putting on muscle and getting better and feeling better about yourself. So it's definitely an important time for me.
When did you realize that the WHO was a legitimate opportunity for you?
I'd probably say was always in the back of my mind with my grandpa being a pretty big influence in the Western Hockey League. He's a pretty I don't want to say like I don't know. He's a pretty well-known coach, I guess, a good way to put it. And once my brother signed and was kind of got drafted and stuff, it was kind of put into my mind a little more. He was thinking about going the school route, but Portland wanted to sign him early and wanted to keep him as a 16-year-old. So we thought that was the right way. And I watched games and I just fell in love with what it offered. So it was 100% the right move for me.
In your first season, you registered 4 points in 25 games, but let's talk about your first WHL goal. How big was that for you?
It was massive. The last thing you want to do is not score all season. So I remember it vividly. We were on the road in Swift right after our US swing. I was scratched for our whole US road trip. I didn't play a single game in the States. And I came back and we're playing Swift Current, and I finally got put in the lineup, and I'm scoring. I told myself like I'm scoring. I haven't played in 3 weeks, so it was Chason, Richie, and I were a line. One of the two shot it. We got like a high offensive zone turnover. One of the two shot at far pad, and I just tapped in the rebound, and that was the first one.
Do you remember if Sam McGillney was on the ice, your buddy from
I'm not sure. I hope he was. I'll have to watch the replay. I don't think he was, but that'd be pretty funny.
How did you find out that the season was going to get canceled?
It was a weird time. Like we were told over like the phone and like emails and Zoom calls and stuff, but I just remember seeing like coming in and watching like TV in like our dry room and just like what was happening in Wuhan and all that, and you don't think much of it, right? You're just like it's all the way over in China or whatever, and you just don't think it's going to affect you. But then we stopped being able to get sticks because they're manufactured over there. And that's when it started to affect us. I was like, oh, like this is actually pretty real. And then you hear like, oh, there's a case in Canada and blah, blah, blah. And then like, you obviously don't believe it. And then boom, it just started happening. And then they sent us home for a week. And then once they sent us home, I thought it's pretty suspicious because they said, oh, you guys can go home for a week and we'll be back in a week or so. And my mom's in healthcare, so she was pretty adamant about it. like how bad it was going to be. So I don't know. I stay focused. I honestly, I thought it was beneficial for me.
Oh, interesting.
I was a pretty slim. I think I was about 180, 6'3" at the time. And playing everyday hockey, training, like you're not gaining weight. Like it's hard to put on
Yeah.
weight muscle. You're more just trying to maintain. And then we got that 10 months off, and I really focused on my nutrition and my off ice like habits in the gym. Managed to put on nearly 20 pounds. Came back at about 200, 205. Felt a lot stronger, better, faster in the bubble. And yeah, I was rewarded most improved player too, which was an honor. So out of the bubble. So yeah, it gave me a little bit of time to catch up. I felt so. I got no complaints about it other than not being able to play, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's a really interesting perspective. And, because my mom works in healthcare too. So nurses unite there. But, and, when I first heard of it, right, like, it's all the way distant, like, 13 hours away from us. Like, I didn't think much of it, right? It's so far away. Why would I even, be concerned? And then, the first case is in Ontario, of course.
Yeah.
So then, I'm receiving emails from, my school board saying like, we're going to be sending out these weekly emails if there's any positive
Right.
tests. And I'm kind of nervous because like because we didn't know much of the virus at the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
100%.
when I get these, I get like a minor heart attack when I get these emails because I'm like, okay, so if someone tests positive, like what happens to me? And
Yeah.
luckily, no one did test positive because then they shut down the schools for because I was near March break, and so they shut down the schools for like 3 weeks. And so then we were just online school for the rest of the year. But yeah, it was wild. And I actually had to be separated from my mom because she was worried that she would bring the virus back home, and that's not something that she wanted to do. So in a sense, I'm lucky to have divorced parents because of this whole pandemic and allowing me to be separated from my mom in a safe manner. In a, if you know what I mean. So
yeah, the way they were portraying it, like right when it was first happening, like early March, like you said, there, it's almost like if you got it, you were dead for sure.
Oh, 100%. Like it was so scary.
Everyone was terrified. I remember my mom sanitizing groceries and stuff. I never got it.
Yeah, I never got it either.
Like
thankfully,
in the midst of it there, I think I did because I was really sick. Probably like a couple, like 3 weeks before like they sent us home. Like one of the sickest I've ever been, and I don't know. I was a little suspicious about that. So.
And just to add on to your point about like the whole stick manufacturer, because that's something that I don't think a lot of people kind of notice. And one of my buddies who I think ordered a new stick or something for obviously hockey, his delivery was delayed.
One sec. Can you say that again? You're just lagging out here.
Yeah, no worries. One of my buddies, because about the stick manufacturing that you had to go through, he ordered a new stick from China and it was delayed because of the coronavirus.
Yeah, 100%.
It was wild.
Yeah, I got the I got it recently too, like just around Christmas time. I got like the variant or whatever, and I didn't even know I had it. Like I was completely fine. So, yeah. Other than that, I'm pretty much over it now. I'm done with it for sure. I'm not too big on it anymore, but there's still, we gotta protect the older people and the people that are endangered. But I'm glad to see that these provinces are going back to normal, especially for Alberta. No more masks and
I know. Dude, I'm jealous of that.
100% back to normal.
I'm jealous of that. I want that right now, man. Ontario is not the best.
Yeah, you guys have been like in prison for 2 years almost.
It feels like it.
Yeah, honestly.
I guess continuing on this, canceled season here, because that was a big portion of your rookie year. Is it kind of bittersweet at all that the final game was at home, yet it resulted in a loss, in the game, and then you lost the rest of the season?
Right. We were we were very hot as a team going into that too. We had a 10-game winning streak. Probably a couple weeks before everything was shut down. I'm pretty sure around January, like February-ish. I think we were really heating up. So we were gonna go on a really good run that year too. We had a lot of really good players and some really good goaltending as well. So it is pretty bittersweet that we went out on a loss too, but it's nothing really you could do about it. We would have won that next game, I bet. So
What was your favorite part of your shortened rookie season?
um I would just say like meeting a bunch of like a whole new set of guys. Um, like I said, I came in and I was I didn't really know anybody too well, and we had such a tight knit group. Um, it was it was awesome. Like I'm a pretty social guy. I love meeting new people and hanging out with friends and stuff. So it was awesome for me to create like pretty much just 22 new friends. So
Speaking of the bubble that you alluded to earlier, how did that affect you mentally?
um um I'm a pretty mentally strong person, I'd like to say, but um, it's gonna affect everybody. You're doing the same thing every day, and you're in the back of your mind every day. You're grateful to play 100%. There's unfortunately like the O got shut down. Like
Yeah.
they didn't get anything, so you have to be grateful every day for that. But it's still wearing on you. It's hard. You have 24 games in 61 days, and you're practicing in between there, and you're in a dorm room, little apartment. We were pretty fortunate. We had like 4-man apartments in U of R, like dorm kind of things. So we were very fortunate to have that. So a somewhat bit of normalcy, but we couldn't leave. You couldn't you couldn't really do anything, right? But it was well worth the sacrifice for what, 2 months. So
Well, I mean, Red Deer had to stay at their own arena, right?
yeah, yeah. I was talking to Mason Ward, who we traded for in the off season, just about because he got traded from Red Deer, right? And
Yeah.
they're staying in suites, and they had like cardboard like on the glass for like curtains, like just for like some privacy. And I don't know if that was the best move or not, but it's not for me to say. But it's definitely interesting for sure.
I just have to think about the ice conditions because it must have been a chilly sleep for the 2 months there.
Yeah, honestly, I, I just remember like there was no individual showers either. Like
Yeah.
their bathroom was like their team bathroom, so like you're just with the guys 24/7, which would be pretty fun. But I don't know. It's just no privacy or anything. But I don't know.
Do you remember how you found out about the news that the WHO season was going to be played?
Um, yeah, I just remember hearing like rumors and stuff. Just constantly talking with your teammates and with people that are involved with in like the Western League and stuff. So um, it was kind of like well rumored around the league. Uh, News travels fast, and we had like an official Zoom call. I'm pretty sure, and we did roommates and all that on there, which was pretty exciting. And to just know you're getting back into it, it gives you another little boost of motivation.
This season, you have 22 points in 39 games, and you're actually on pace to set personal best in every major statistical category. What do you attribute that success to?
Um, what do you mean? What do you
Like,
think I'm
what's the main factor? Because we're seeing a huge increase in your point production. Like, is it because
right?
of the line that you're playing on, power play time?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously the opportunity I'm getting, the players I'm playing with, and confidence too. You know, I'm coming in as a 19-year-old. Had I think a pretty good season in the bubble. Just knowing I can be a better player in this league and help my team out in any way I can. And it's obviously the opportunity you get. You're going to get some points and capitalize on that as well. So yeah, it's been a very good year so far.
Is it fun getting back to playing different teams? Because in the bubble, you would play against the same 4 or 5 teams every week.
Yeah. It's 100%. It's so nice. It's honestly like I remember just coming back and like being excited to travel. Like I was like, I can't wait for our first bus ride, honestly. Like just even if we were going to Saskatoon for like a 2-2 with Saskatoon and PA or something, like it just we're looking forward to it. It's nice for sure. Going out out to Alberta and stuff too. It's too bad we don't get to go to BC or the States or anything, but those are always such fun trips. But you know, just going out to Alberta and placing Sask, it's very nice to get a change, that's for sure.
You never realize how much you miss the bus trips with the boys until it's all gone from you.
Yeah, 100%.
You guys are 25, 15, and 5 this season. What adversity has the team gone through?
A lot of injuries. We were very unlucky early. A lot of guys going down, suspensions, guys at camp. Our home opener, our first 2 games in our home opener were unfortunately blowouts. I think we had 9 forwards maybe and like 60, and that's with everyone playing with prospects too. And we knew how good we were. We just needed to persevere over the little hump we were facing early in the season, which isn't even the worst. We were overlooked by a lot of teams early, thinking that all the Wheat Kings aren't going to be good again this year. But once we got fully healthy and playing to our systems and the way we can, we've been dominating recently, I think.
I'm not sure if you've had an opportunity, but if you did, what's your go-to shootout move?
When I was younger, my dad would always get mad at me for doing it. I'd always do like the Datsuk move, like you pull backhand, like fake shot, pull it back. But I don't think I could pull that off now. I don't know. I'd probably just creep in wide on either side and just try to read the goalie if he's in his net. Probably just shoot one, or if he's way out, just make a move and not be too complicated. You know, you don't want to deke yourself out, so just got to focus on the goalie.
You should try the Datsukian on Ethan Kruger in practice.
Yeah, he'd probably save it, or I don't know. I'd probably just hit him in the head or something. Get mad at me.
As we're finishing off this interview here, what advice do you have for aspiring hockey players?
Just stay focused on your goals. There's a lot of different paths out there. It's not all going to be roses for you. There's going to be some adversity you're going to have to face. You know, it's not, your career's not going to be over with one simple fork in the road. So just keep focused on the goal at hand. Work hard off the ice and on the ice, and just be good of a guy and teammate as you can. It's pretty much it.
Well, I'd like to thank again Riley Ginnell for taking time out of his day to come on the Pagcast. Thank you again, Riley.
No worries. Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.